Stop. Why? Do you think it probably has like neurological conditions or whatever? Oh. Cerebellar hypoplasia. Wow. Any thoughts on the Alaska meeting? You mean Alaska Oblast? Wait. Is this a real tweet? He fucked up? Or is this whole thing a meme? Is President at real Donald Trump lands in Alaska? I wish him the very best of luck in trying to secure an end to the horrendous war in Ukraine. It's refreshing to see a U.S. president who genuinely prefers peace to war. Do you think he fucked up? Or is this like a whole thing a meme tweet? Is there a place I can find Destiny's music playlist? No. All the songs are written and played by me. There's no other place to find them. All right.
I'm joined now by Governor Gavin Newsom. We are in downtown LA at the Democracy Center. Thanks for joining me.
By the way, this is interesting. Little Tokyo. This is the site.
I'm joined now by Governor Gavin Newsom. We are in downtown LA at the Democracy Center. I'm joined now by Governor Gavin Newsom. We are in downtown LA at the Democracy Center. Thanks for joining me.
By the way, this is...
Jesus. All right. We got 3 different cameras right off the bat.
It's interesting. Little Tokyo. This is the site, quite literally.
BTC out of focus? What's going on here?
Right outside where the Japanese were picked up, arrested.
4 cameras. Oh no, I bet it's 3. I bet it's a shot reverse and then they've got like one handheld.
Interned and bust in the 1940s. So it's a poignant place for us to be at this moment.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because ICE decided to show up today during your announcement, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So first and foremost, can I have your reaction to the fact that Trump decided to deploy his troops here, not an accident, to come here while you were having your press conference?
Yeah, and he said his reason.
Would you be generally happy with BTC becoming the Joe Rogan of the... I don't know if we need like Joe Rogan is a very special character. I don't know if we need necessarily like a Joe Rogan of the left, or I feel like it misses the point to look for like a particular figure. Like somebody like Joe Rogan worked because he was a normal, ordinary media figure, pop media figure that, well, no, not media, pop culture figure who kind of became like entrenched in conservative media somehow. That being said, I don't think I've ever seen Brian put out anything I don't like. I feel like I like almost everything he does. Factually, he seems to be about as on as anybody could be, and then ideologically we align. He's a good Democrat, yeah.
Regional Border Patrol director here, as well as the spokesperson, he made our point. I don't think we had to say a word.
Right.
He made the point we're making. Not only is he rigging the election, he's trying to ruin and wreck democracy. He's no longer even feigning that he has dictatorial tendencies or authoritarian tendencies. He's acting out on them. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act, however, of weakness. Why else would you send them out? How pathetic, how small. And it's a sign of things to come, and I assure you what...
I think if it might be, I wonder if Brian brought his own people. This is auto white balance, I think. Or not balance, auto white balance maybe, do you think? It's very, very different from shot to shot. Sorry, let's not be honest.
How pathetic, how small. And it's
Stop typing in yes, honey, in chat. Stop doing that, okay? Stop it. They're all just different cameras. So what? Your mom gets fucked by different dicks. That doesn't mean her vagina changes every time. I don't know. No, it's a different white balance from shot to shot. That's why the colors are different, I think.
It's a sign of things to come, and I assure you, what you saw today, what happened here today, is going to happen tomorrow in a town near you. My biggest fear, and I said this months ago to you, is that we're going to see the National Guard federalized in other parts of the country. You're starting to see that under different circumstances subtly in D.C., but you're going to see ICE and Border Patrol sent out to polling places and voting booths during the election. This was an act of intimidation, and that's exactly why this initiative is so important.
You know, these Trump supporters are going to claim that this was done in the interest of combating crime. But of course, we know that if you're looking at combating crime, there are other states across the country that have higher crime rate. But of course, we know that if you're looking at combating crime, there are other.
Are there two handhelds? I'm sorry, I'm just so interested in the choices made for filming this.
States across the interest of combating crime.
No. This is
But of course,
stationary, but it's out of focus. Okay, and then this is the same handheld. I think it's just switching back and forth between the two, right?
we know that if you're looking at combating crime, there are other states across the country that have higher crime rates, higher per capita crime rates than Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., and yet these were the cities that he opted to deploy these people to.
Yeah, well, I think
I would also be careful with this idea of, like, not to say, I think it's a bit of an error to say, well, if you wanted to combat crime, these aren't good cities to choose. You don't deploy the National Guard to combat crime. You deploy the National Guard to combat, like, emergency scenarios where things are so out of control, the state no longer has the resources, and it's done at the request of the governor, right, for times of exceptional emergency. The military is not here to enforce criminal law. That's not the job of the military. You don't want to turn your military into your law enforcement body. The military exists to fight enemies of the United States. And when the military is doing policing actions, the people have become the enemy of the country. That's just, you don't ever want that dynamic. It's so bad.
I think you should start with Shreveport, Louisiana, in Speaker Johnson's district that has 6+ times the per capita murder rate of Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco. What about the carnage, Mr. President, in Shreveport? Why aren't you protecting the folks there? 8 of the top 10 murder states in this country, red states. What bullshit. And everyone knows it. Everybody knows it. Again, it's acts of authoritarianism. It's acts of power on a person that is trying to use his its formal authority, and it's depleting. And it's weak. It's increasingly weak, and it's increasingly desperate. And that's why it's important for us at this moment to meet him head on, not just rhetorically, but through substantive counteractions. And that's what we're doing in California with this ballot initiative.
Now, you had brought up a point that I've focused on quite a bit, which is the idea that he is laying the predicate now, basically normalizing us to this idea that he's going to be able to deploy the troops. Can you talk about what that may look like as we head closer to 2026? And look, we've seen him try and seize voting machines in Georgia. He tried to do it in 2020. But now,
I'm afraid Donald J. Trump and his admin are trying to normalize deploying troops in preparation for an actual coup for the upcoming elections. Maybe. However, that's a strategic error, because apparently the president doesn't have to normalize anything, because everything is already normal. There is no response. The American public is anemic when it comes. Where are all of the "don't tread on me" people? The Second Amendment, like, none of this stuff ever fucking mattered. It was all a fucking virtue signal. None of these people gave a fuck about federalism or states' rights. It was all bullshit. All of it was bullshit.
he knows he kind of is able to normalize Americans to this idea of deploying troops into Los Angeles, into D.C. What could that mean if you're looking at a city like Philadelphia, a city like Detroit, a city like Milwaukee, a city like Atlanta, which are, of course, these Democratic strongholds within these swing states that are going to determine the election?
Well, I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like a gun to the head of a 15-year-old disabled boy born in the United States of America that doesn't look like you and me trying to go to school. That's what just happened here in Los Angeles. I'll tell you what it manifests. That kid doesn't, that many other people saw that, they may not send their kids to school. It means people are not showing up in their classroom. People are not showing up to get their flu shot at the emergency room, or people that are sick not even accessing emergency care. It means people that may be witnesses of crime not even be willing to go forward to help keep our community safe. It's a chilling effect. People not going out to go grocery shopping or doing so only late at night. People getting into other people's cars that look like you and me to drive them to go shopping so they're not racially profiled if they're driving by the Home Depot or a car wash. And it will happen in more insidious ways if it happens during the election. And that's exactly what this is about. It's about clearing the streets. It's about creating panic. People are not going to sit there in a line where they can't even get water in some states, and they're not going to sit there waiting 2 or 3 hours if ICE or Border Patrol shows up. It's precisely, again, why people need to wake up and disabuse themselves that democracy is going to survive if we do not push back. It won't. It's the rule of Don, no longer the rule of law. And people need to understand the lines that are being redrawn in Texas are not about party, they're about power. And you've got to meet fire with fire, and power needs to be asserted in blue states, not just red states. Our state of mind has to be more firm, more resolved, and more aggressive.
Some fucking dude emailed me like 7 different talking points. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's emailed me stuff before. I thought all of them were good. Oh, this guy emailed me a long time ago about hydrocarbons. He's a plastics engineer. Hey, Stephen, just replying to my past conversation to show that I have a modicum of credibility. Oh, it was in the same thread. On a recent stream, you expressed a desire to counter an enlightened, centrist, populist rhetorical narrative that is similar to the MAGA populist narrative of, well, the Dems did it already, so now we can do it. That narrative being, quote, the Dems can't do X because Y, end quote, with Y being any of the following, among other, relativistic topics. Y1 equals slippery slope. Y2 equals tyranny. Y3 equals both sides. Y4 equals billionaire handlers. Specifically, you expressed a gripe with the general idea of the Dems can't redistrict Colorado because we worked so hard to eliminate gerrymandering. Remember, Democrats won't be the only ones in power, ... In my opinion, this is an example of Y1, the slippery slope. The slope is implicit in the response, leaving it to the reader's imagination where exactly Y will lead. Depending on the reader, it could lead to Y2, tyranny, or Y4, billionaire handlers, or Y67. It's an appeal to emotion where the implicit nature appeals to the state of mind of the user reading the statement. This makes appeals to emotion particularly powerful in our current political climate where the GOP focuses on keeping people on edge and reactive. For counters to this concept, I applied a general shotgun method and found a variety of effective responses with the intent being to keep them punchy and not convince the individual making the comment, but the independents reading it. He says, initial comment. We fought for too long to get Colorado to a point where it is illegal to gerrymander, and there is a whole system set up to keep politicians out of the redistricting process. I cannot believe people seem to think this is helpful. And then he's got 8 different replies, basically. One is counter-narrative. Protecting our independent redistricting system isn't cheating. It's making sure elections stay fair, even if others try to play dirty elsewhere. 2 is MAD theory, mutually assured destruction theory. Colorado voters worked hard to take redistricting out of politicians' hands. Preemptive measures just protect the system we all agreed on. No party gets to undermine it for short-term gain. 3 is the fairness appeal. And if it were a Democrat trying to cheat, I'd hope the Republicans would do the same thing. 4 is moral duty. Right, and if we don't act now to protect independent maps, the first party that tries to cheat could decide our elections for us. 5 is Godwin's law. Just like the Allies didn't wait for Hitler to invade every country before acting, Colorado isn't waiting for someone else to rig elections before defending them. 6 is why wait. Good defense beats hindsight. Colorado isn't waiting for someone else to rig the game before guarding the voters. 7 is collectivism. Colorado's not waiting to get blindsided. We built fair maps to protect voters, and we'll defend them before anyone tries to cheat. And then 8 is appeal to founders. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, from Benjamin Franklin. Just some general ideas to jog your thoughts. The flourish is strong because of its appeal to the reader, which is why it seems difficult to combat at first. You can do the same thing. I'm partial to Democrats appealing to the founders, as I think it's an easy narrative win to be the party of the founders of the nation. I've added some more quotes, also reflecting Enlightenment thinkers. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty, from Thomas Jefferson. The accumulation of all powers in the same hands may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny, James Madison. These are just a bunch of quotes from Founding Father people. The main actionable takeaway being appeal to the emotion of the reader. What will happen if we do nothing? We are protecting voters, not parties, and these are preventative measures. I know this is a specific example, but I hope it helps develop a larger, more holistic strategy for you. I can see why each of these appeals works. Like, it makes sense to me, but I could never think of these on my own. My brain just totally does not function this way at all.
Let's use that to jump into what you spoke about today. Can you give a brief overview of your announcement at the press conference?
Well, we're moving forward with a special election on November 4th, coinciding with other local municipal elections to neutralize anything that Greg Abbott and Republicans are doing in Texas. They do 5 seats, we do 5 seats. And we're not only doing that, we're also announcing, as a consequence of this effort, a commitment to national independent redistricting. Well, that's on the ballot as well. We believe it's the right thing to do. In fact, the Democratic Party believes it's the right thing to do. Democrats have voted for national independent redistricting. Yeah. Republicans have not. So spare me the crocodile tears on Fox and everyone else saying, oh.
Did you happen to see/care about that article about defending the amyloid hypothesis? No, I've shut my brain off a little bit on medical related stuff. If I dive too deeply into that, I think I will just become a very evil, hateful person. I genuinely believe that like every person that voted conservative should have all of their like new diabetic stuff, Ozempic, all of that should be ripped away from these people. I don't think they deserve any benefits whatsoever of anything having to do with our medical or pharmaceutical system if they're going to pull the ladder up behind them after anybody else. I think they should be forced to grow fat, die, chop their legs off if they're, diabetic neuropathy, whatever other fat fucking retarded shit these people suffer from, and then let them, rot in the street. I just think it's evil. It's not even insane. It's absolutely evil. The attacks against our scientific research. It's the saddest thing in the universe.
National independent redistricting. Republicans have not. So spare me the crocodile tears on Fox and everyone else saying, "Oh, everybody does this. Oh, these guys."
Like I feel like industrialization, like in the Enlightenment, thinking like this is like one of the big things that moved the world forward. I guess, right? I don't know my medieval history much, but the turn towards like rational thought and electricity and the sciences and everything, I think advanced us in a lot of different ways. America has a lot of grit, a lot of, strong. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not American, I know, but yeah, you know what? Excuse me, he is American. My bad. He is motherfucking American. But like we have that, but also like our scientific research and our intelligence is also a huge part of the United States. Whether we're talking about AI today, whether we're talking about being the first motherfuckers to have the nuclear bomb, is a big deal. It's important shit.
Guys have been gerrymandering for years and years and years, not like these folks have. And we're at least willing to call that out. In California, we have moral authority because for 15 years we've had an independent redistricting commission, and we have some of the most competitive races. They may be going to Democrats. That's on the basis.
I thought DGG had the most competitive races.
For 15 years we've had an independent redistricting commission, and we have some of the most competitive races. They may be going to Democrats. That's on the basis of competition, but some of the most competitive districts in America.
Find me districts as close as the ones we have in California, where Valadeo is winning, where Ken Calvert is winning, where Darrell Issa is winning, and show me the equivalent in a place like Texas. You have New York and you have California, the biggest weapons for Democrats who have independent redistricting commissions, and yet look at what the Republicans have in their big weapons. Texas and Florida, you have you have gerrymandered states that are being gerrymandered even further to consolidate power for these Republicans, which raises the question: if Greg Abbott and these Texas Republicans want to ramp up the stakes even further, are we going to have time to offer some commensurate response to that?
No, and to your credit, you've been talking a lot more about that, particularly in relationship to the Voting Rights Act, particularly in relationship to the Supreme Court, and the likelihood, it appears, that they may throw that out.
Yeah.
This is about race. This is not just about justice. This is not just about the core tenets of our founding fathers. This fundamentally now can get to another level if the Voting Rights Act is thrown out and these guys with total impunity can whitewash, literally, not figuratively, some of these districts all across the country. So look, that's a break the glass. I mean, we've already break the glass. That's another level.
Yeah.
And there's the ability for states to move. They can call special sessions of their legislature, governors in blue states. You can call special elections. You can look at your constitutional constraints and look at the prospect of getting voters to consider constitutional amendments. There are many different tacks we can take. Right now, this we know we can do. We have the ability to do it for November 4th. We're getting it through the legislature with 2/3 majorities in both houses. We're going to do it in a transparent way. We're going to do it in a temporary way. And we're going to do it in a democratic way. We're going to put the maps on the ballot. People can see them for themselves. They're not going to be drafted behind closed doors, and they're not going to be drafted to Donald Trump's liking. So
most of the stuff like landing on the moon was because of a push by government to embrace science prior to World War II. America was a country where very little science happened. It was mainly Europe that embraced science back then. I don't think we disagree. But the power of the United States was, I think the power of liberalism and capitalism was the ability to adapt. Right, I think that's the strongest. One of the big things that I made, that I was arguing with Econo Boy about when it came to capitalism, and it's one of the reasons why I kept pushing on this idea of like, how would we do investment? Is because capital has the ability to adapt. Money can flow to different areas. One of the nice things about liberalism, especially in the United States, is that we can incorporate a ton of different peoples into our national and our ethno-national identity, right? What does it mean to be an American? You have a green card or you're a citizen. Literally, that's it. Anybody that says differently is a fucking loser that doesn't know history and is probably somebody who we wouldn't want here if we had an IQ test anyway, okay? So the ability for us to incorporate a ton of different people to respond to our environment, like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't know prior to World War I, maybe even prior to World War II, like how much of a demand there was on cutting edge technologies. I mean, I'm sure there probably was in a lot of different ways, but like during World War II and everything else, like we had the ability to incorporate scientific researchers from Europe to do scientific research in the United States, for the government to be the body that was pushing on us to do that research. And we were able to do it. I think that speaks to the character of the nation a little bit. I don't think it was just like, I don't think any country in the world could have just said, hey, well, I mean, other countries in the world were trying to push for that research, right? But we got it done here first, okay?
So this whole situation has kind of surged onto the scene in just the last few weeks, really. And to your great credit, you have responded as quickly as you possibly could, wasting no time in getting this thing on the ballot so that we can have our maps redrawn to counteract, to fight fire with fire against what they're doing in Texas. We still have other Democratic governors across the country who we've heard them say the right things, but we haven't seen action. And so in light of the fact that you're moving right now, we're getting this thing on the ballot in just a few months, and so this thing's moving as quickly as possible. What's your message to these other governors across the country who represent states that could also serve as weapons to counteract what the Republicans are doing, who haven't made any moves yet, any concrete moves yet to do something?
Well, gratitude to Kathy Hochul, gratitude to J.B. Pritzker for recognizing the urgency of the moment, for hosting the Texas delegation. Deep gratitude to the Texas delegation for raising the awareness and the stakes that put a lot of wind in our sail, that gave us the ability to make the case to our legislature. But now it's time to act. Now it's time to take it to the next step. And it's not just those two that have already demonstrated a commitment on this. It's many other states. There are a lot of other blue states out there. Let's go. This is it. There's no dress rehearsal. This guy is going after any institution that cultivates independent thought. He's rewriting history in real time at the Smithsonian. He's literally going after institutions of higher learning like the UC system, and notably here, UCLA, which is doing life-saving research that literally is protecting our national security. It's the reason we're the economic tentpole of the American economy and the world economy. The United States of America as a beneficiary. This guy is wrecking it all in real time.
It's just so crazy that you would attack one of your, like, I don't want to, obviously I'm a liberal, okay, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but like truly, like one of your most important states is California, right? If you're talking about competing in AI, if you're talking about competing in technology, you're talking about software development, you're talking about productive labor, like why would you make an enemy out of a state that's so productive? Like it's so, like I can understand, no, actually I can't understand. I'm sorry. I was trying to be charitable. No, I can't understand it. What? I'm just trying to think if Democrats ever have this adversarial of a relationship to any of the red states ever. Does this ever happen? Like, did we see Obama or Biden fighting with, like, even like if I try to think like fighting with Florida, it's usually fighting with like DeSantis, and it's usually in response to them attacking them first. Like, it's just so crazy.
Time. We need to wake up. We cannot survive if he rigs not just Texas, but he goes to Indiana, goes to Missouri, goes to Ohio, he goes to Florida. We have to have other governors of like mind, and there are many, to now do something, not just say something.
Right, I think that the main point here is if you stand for any democratic ideal, all of it relies on having a functioning democracy. So if you're a governor or a state legislator in another state and you claim to want to combat climate change or expand healthcare or protect women's reproductive rights or make a union stronger or whatever it is, protect kids in schools from guns, whatever it may be, all of that relies on being able to survive in a functional democracy, to have the opportunity to be elected in the first place. And so if that...
Yes. Yeah. They're bringing it around. They're talking about it. This is, like there is no virtue in adhering to a system if the system is going to cause the ship to sink. Like you have to right the ship. There's no virtue in unilateral disarmament. I'm gonna be spamming that statement. You're gonna get tired of hearing me say that this year and next year, is that unilateral disarmament thing, because it's true. There's no virtue in that.
The House is rigged. If they're able to scientifically engineer maps so that Democrats are precluded from ever having the opportunity to win, none of it matters. And so we can defend, we can claim that we want to stand for something. We can beat our chests about standing up for our values. But if we can't do it, if there's no practical way, if there's no method to actually be in power, then none of that matters. And so this is the whole ballgame right here.
God bless you. We're about to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our founding fathers. Co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty, rule of law. You're spot on. Everything you just said is spot on. This is it. And I mean, there's literally no more evidence than you need, than the evidence that has been submitted in the first 6.5, 7 months of the Trump administration. And you think this is going to get better? You think if we just say, well, Mr. Trump, it's fine,
Explain unilateral disarmament for the retards. Me. The reason why we don't take our nukes down when other people have nukes is because we want to let other people know that if you try to nuke us, we'll nuke you. You're going to get fucked, okay? If we were to take all of our nukes down and just be there without nukes, then you are exposing yourself to basically other nuclear powers doing whatever the fuck they want. Say we get rid of all of our nukes and Russia decides to invade the Baltics. Well, what are you going to do? And then let's say you're like, okay, well, fuck you, we're going to invade you. And you're like, well, you could do that, but also we have nuclear submarines like outside of all of your major cities. Like, oh, okay, well, we'll bomb you really hard. Not as hard as we can bomb you. Okay, right? The mutually assured destruction is done because both sides have the ability to destroy the other side. If unilateral disarmament doesn't make any sense because it leaves you exposed to basically whatever your enemy wants to do to you.
We just, we know it's a race to the bottom. You may call upon those other states. Can you just do 5 and California will stand down?
Yeah.
God damn it, enough. Yeah. Democrats, stop being weak. Step up.
I've been spamming unilateral disarmament on r/Colorado all morning. I bet I've seen your account because I saw somebody on On that subreddit's typing that reply to comments.
Guys have been dominating the narrative. They have been defining the terms of the debate. It's time to get on our damn, off our heels, onto our front toes. It's time to do just that. Dominate the narrative, flood the zone, and surround sound. It's time for us to all band together. It is about the United States of America. He doesn't believe in that. He believes in the red states. Going after is a war. He's a wartime president. He's the head of a war party. War on women, war on voting rights, war on Hispanics, a war on this state, war on institutions I want, war on history. I mean, this is serious. This guy's trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what he's going to try to say tomorrow in Alaska, that he's the big guy trying to find peace? Really?
He wants a Nobel Peace Prize so badly. It's so fucking pathetic. That's why Netanyahu suggested, I bet Trump brought it up in a conversation. He's actually so pathetic.
When he's bringing war to the American people, he put military in the streets, not of Baghdad. And he didn't send the military in his first administration anywhere in the world. He sent the United States Marines into the United States of America in one of the bluest cities in this country, in Los Angeles, one of the great cities, American cities. That's what Donald Trump did. He is a wartime president.
On this idea of weakness, groups that purport to be good government groups who are pushing back already against this, and I guess, while we would say we have to push back on this idea of unilaterally disarming, you have some of these good government groups, including a group like the League of Women Voters, who are pushing back here and saying that we shouldn't do this because even though the Republicans are doing it, we have to unilaterally disarm. And so they're aligning themselves with this MAGA movement, with Donald Trump, with Greg Abbott. And so what's your reaction in light of the fact that we should be fighting fire with fire to protect democracy, so that we don't just capitulate completely to the right, that instead they're just focusing solely on I guess what's immediately in front of them, which is that pushing back at all is going to be some type of bad government move?
Well, there's no good government when government is totally limited. It's no longer the rule of law, back to this notion of rule of dawn.
You should fight back against Tom Bilyeu when he is committed to democracy, for better or worse. Sam Harris told him, democracy is not a suicide cult. Yeah, I need to get my mind out of the gutter, because it's always the only way I can think of combating that, I don't know if I did it with Tom Bilyeu or not, but it's rape analogies in my mind are just so perfect for that, right? Like, I really, really, really want to have sex, okay? And it's like, okay, that's fine, you want to have sex, and this other guy wants to have sex too, but you don't want to have sex with him. Like, we call that rape, right? There's no such thing as like one person's sex, right? That's just rape. And the idea that like, well, if I just let him rape me, at least I get to have sex. No, both of you have to be like willing to play by the rules. It doesn't work. You can't just have one person wanting to do it. It has to be both people. And I mean, it's the same. This is like the unilateral disarmament thing, but with a rape analogy, I guess. But yeah, you can't, it's not. Sometimes I make these arguments. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, this is so obviously true. Like it feels like there are some things. There's like, I don't even know why I'm putting the logical argument here. It's not logic that's preventing the person I'm arguing with from understanding this, right? Somebody sent me some email that I should use a fart analogy whenever people bring up this, like, oh, it's not legal, or isn't it legal? Can't Trump do this? And somebody said you should ask people, like, if somebody has like the most bombastic fucking gastric problems ever, and they step into an elevator and they fart everywhere every single time somebody goes in, like, that's not illegal, right? Like, should they have the right to do that? I mean, probably. You're not going to criminalize farting. Like, what if somebody were to step into every single elevator in the United States and start farting in all of them, and you always have to deal with it? Like, is it legal? Yeah, but like, nobody wants that. It's bad for everything. Nobody's going to use elevators. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I have to reach for really desperate analogies or try to think of ways to argue things, because it's not a real argument. Like, this is not a real argument. Nobody really truly believes that it's good for the president of the United States to launch civil fucking lawsuits against people. Nobody really believes that idea. That is a partisan hack idea. Like, just for saying it, you've exposed yourself to be so fucking stupid, I think.
Some type of bad government move.
Well, there's no good government when government is totally limited. It's no longer the rule of law, back to this notion of rule of dawn. I mean, the League of Women Voters thinks that by aligning with Donald Trump, that's all they're doing. It's a binary. It's not complicated. Right. By aligning with Donald Trump, the League of Women Voters thinks that's good government. When he doesn't believe in independent redistricting, he's going to eliminate independent redistricting. He doesn't believe it.
Wait, are they really? Dude, I've read so much bad shit about the Teamsters Union stuff? Oh, man.
Advise and consent. He doesn't believe in the power of co-equal branches of government and oversight when he's trying to rig the election, when he's trying to change the rules by playing against with a brand new set of rules in the mid-decade on the redistricting. Give me a break. With all due respect to them, they are dead wrong on this issue.
I have to ask, because this has gotten quite a bit of attention online, but I have a tweet here.
Which one's this?
This is, well, what I would love is to have you read this in your voice. If you'd like to just take a shot at it.
Well, I mean, wow. Tomorrow history will be made. Now, I'm not going to be as effective.
You could do the Gandhi Holocaust example. Hitler killed 5 million Jews. It is the greatest crime of our time, but the Jews should have offered themselves to the butcher's knife. They should have thrown themselves into the sea from cliffs. It would have aroused the world and the people of Germany. As it is, they succumbed anyway in their millions. I don't know enough about Gandhi to speak about Gandhi. I did like a mini period where I learned a lot more about MLK. This was mostly off stream. I didn't understand as much the, there's a term for this. It wasn't nonviolent protesting. It was, what's the phrase I'm looking for? There's a different arthritis pain. Why did you? Okay. Was it just nonviolence? It's not civil disobedience. Maybe it was just nonviolence. But like the idea was, you're not just non-violently protesting to get the shit beat out of you because it's epic and because that's like morally good. Like it was an optics strategy. Because if you are non-violent and your opponent is unhinged, they look really bad and you accomplish something with that. It was non-violence. It wasn't just like peaceful protesting. It was a commitment to non-violence, but it wasn't a commitment to non-violence for the morality of being non-violent. It was a commitment to non-violence because of the effectiveness of non-violence. This is one of the things I've learned in my own career, and it's very, very hard, and it's a deeply unsatisfying feeling, is sometimes it feels like the strongest response to a thing is to lash out or attack. And I see a lot of young people make this mistake when they look at the difference and say like Malcolm X and MLK. They're like, oh, people like MLK were weak. People like Malcolm X were strong, right? Because the people that wanted to fight back or be violent, these are your big changers or whatever. That's not always the case. Sometimes like it's the commitment to nonviolence, the ability to endure whatever it is the opposition wants to throw at you. And then through that endurance, right? And then through the framing of the other side being unhinged, that's where a lot of the that's where a lot of your, I guess, like international appeal, national appeal, people will look at you better for that, basically. So the commitment to nonviolence was not just oh my God, we have to be moral and peaceful. It was, if they beat the shit out of us and we don't do anything, they look really, 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 really bad, which is what happened with a lot of the MLK protesting.
As the person that you may recognize is on True Social, but in this case, we push this down on Twitter. Caroline Levitt will have no answers.
Well, hold on. I don't want you to breeze right through the brilliant. Go on. It's not just Caroline Levitt.
Caroline
Levitt. Right.
Are you going back to the being nice arc? No. I'm trying like a mixture of things. Right now, I'm in my tendrils arc. I'm spreading my tendrils again. I make connections, all that bullshit again. Yeah, this Teamster shit, after Biden poured like tens of billions of dollars or whatever into these people, they came out and they endorsed Trump, and now they're donating money to the Republicans? What the fuck? Part of the tendrils arc, you probably don't understand, you're spreading your tendrils. Wait, what are tendrils? Aren't they like little, I feel like that's like, I think of like the grave mine in Halo, like the things like going out everywhere, like the creep. Tendrils is correct? Oh, okay, fuck you.
It's not just Caroline Levitt.
Caroline
Levitt. Right.
Oh, they didn't endorse Trump in 2024, but they didn't endorse Democrats. Okay.
Of no answers for the supposed fake media about California's beautiful, big, beautiful maps. People are saying that that were the greatest maps. They're just saying this. They are, Ryan. People are saying the greatest maps
many people have heard that.
Ever created. Even better than Christopher Columbus's. Donald W. Trump, be warned that tomorrow may be the worst day of your life, all because you missed the deadline. You misses a lot of deadlines. Liberation Day for America. GCN. I should have said thank you for your attention to this matter.
So what gave you the idea to, on this idea of fighting fire with fire, to literally adopt his rhetorical genius?
Gloves off, man. Just gloves off. It's all on the line. It's it. Like enough. You know, you're wearing a tie. I took my tie off. Take the tie off.
That's right.
Like it's it. Don't dream of regretting. I said it. This is not no do-over. This is it. Wake up to what's going on in this country. And I'll iterate. I'll try anything. That's what that represents. I'm just trying to break through, man. I'm just trying to be accountable. To be able to look at my kids and say, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, know that I did everything I could. And you know what? See what fate brings. But we're going to put everything on the damn line. And that's, I'm proud of the folks from Texas.
What did I read? I read a copy pasta on Twitter or whatever. It was a good-ass one. And the final thing was like a silhouette of Hillary Clinton running again in 2028. Bro, conservatives would collectively suicide. I think half the conservatives in this country would kill themselves if Hillary ran in 2028 and won. Holy shit. And then had like Kamala as the VP. Oh my God. Woo! I know the Rich really disappointed you, but please know, in my direct community, there were 4 MAGA people who saw you push against Peterson and started pivoting your content from that one comment. Sure. Listen, all the strategies work in different ways. It all works together.
Texas. That's why I'm proud of folks showing up at the No Kings rally. People haven't given up yet. I'm telling you, we can win. We're going to do this. We can win this November. We can win next November. And then we can get this country back on track. And I tell you, I took it for granted. I did. Even during Trump 1.0, I took so much for granted. And people ask all the time, well, do you think authoritarians here? Well, not yet for me. But sure as hell for the people walking on the streets that look different for me. And now.
I'm sorry, dude. Which way, America? Look at all these beautiful white children. What is that? Holy shit. Racist much? You can't be racist to non-white conservatives. True! What is this account?
I even wonder if you got these big corporate titans that are selling their soul.
Yeah.
Maybe it's come for them as well. Nationalizing, taking 15% of their profits.
There was an announcement today about Intel, about the United States government possibly taking a stake in Intel. And it's ironic that it's happening at the hands of people who vilify Democrats as communists, where you have the government now taking states and
You're worried about Mandami? Really? Seriously?
Also, remember, please be ready for this and be ready to debate this, guys, and tell all your friends and your staffers and anybody that's listening, okay? We have left the liberal axis. Where's that thing that Eban drew for me or whatever, okay? This motherfucker. This stupid shit. Where was it? Democrats and Republicans, okay? When I say Republicans, I'm talking like neocons, conservative Christians, Georgists, I guess, I don't know, libertarian Republicans, whatever, right? These people pre-MAGA, okay? These people here are all liberals. They believe in like free market enterprise, capitalism, the ability to start businesses, freedom of speech, okay? Limited government, broadly, things like this. Yes, even the Democrats believe in limited government, right? These are liberals, okay? The majority of the Democratic Party is still in the liberal zone. The majority of MAGA is not in the liberal zone. They are outside. They are illiberal, okay? What does that mean? Stop being surprised when they support things that are not liberal, like socialist things, okay? These guys all share other types of beliefs. For instance, they will mobilize the government to do extreme things. They're just looking to protect different groups of people. Back in the Nazi debating days, which maybe we're going back into it, I don't know, we used to call these people third positionists, okay? People that had the third positions, I guess we see neo-fascist here. I believe these are people who were, they'll say they are socially conservative, but economically liberal or economically left. But what that means is that when you go and you talk to these people, and I'm sure this changes from thing to thing. I'm not saying this is all of them or this is like the single defining thing. But generally speaking, what will happen is when you argue with these people, you'll say things like, well, don't we want things like social health care and don't we want things like a strong welfare state to protect our, the weakest among us? These people will say, yes, I do want single payer health care. I just want it for like 80% white people, okay? We can't have single payer health care. And then they'll deploy, and if you're not ready for those arguments, okay, you're gonna get obliviated because all of a sudden you're gonna be like, oh God, wait, maybe this guy's way more economically left-leaning than I originally thought. But then you're gonna start to get swamped with the, yeah, don't you want social health care? You like the Nordic states, right? Yeah, of course. The only reason it works there is because of their ethnic homogeneity, okay? Notice how their socialized healthcare works because they're 99% white. How are you going to make it work over here when you got all these illegal immigrants flooding in, when you got all these black and brown people, the same people that are giving them trouble in Europe, right? Notice how those welfare systems aren't working as well anymore. They're failing because of all the colored people coming in. It's not good, right? So just stop getting surprised when, I'm bringing this up because now they just mentioned Trump wanting to buy huge shares in fucking Intel, like the US government buying shares in Intel. Republicans, MAGA right now, are majority not liberal, Okay? They have, if Donald Trump were to say today, the government is going to own some US company, they'd be all for it, 100%. You know how they used to like scare us about the Green New Deal? They would do it. They would say, yeah, that's fine as long as like Trump gets to control things. They're fine with that. Just be aware of that. Be careful.
At the hands of people who vilify Democrats as communists, where you have the government now taking states and
You're worried
private
about
states.
Mandani? Really? Seriously? And you're sitting there condoning this kind of behavior? Crony capitalism?
Yeah.
Writing big checks, maybe buying crypto? I mean, the greatest grift in American history, billions and billions of dollars? I mean, this is sick. This is sick. This is sick. This cannot.
Yes, and it is sick. It's not normal. It is not normal. That is true. Please, thank you, God. It is not normal. It's fucking crazy. All of it is fucking crazy. Yes.
Grift in American history, billions and billions of dollars? I mean, this is sick. This is sick. This is sick. This cannot continue. And if institutions like Harvard are going to sell their soul, then we need to do more. And we have.
Oh, yeah. What? Wait, was it Harvard or was it? I thought it was Columbia recently. Was it Harvard was going to like pay $1 billion to restart their research or some bullshit? Ugh.
Then we need to do more. And we have to call this out. This is, I don't want to overstate it, but I can't understate how important November 4th is. And that's why I call it Liberation Day here in California. This is it, man. If we roll over, we fail. Fourth largest economy in the world, size of 21 state populations combined. If we can't, in the most un-Trump state, push back, I don't know what's going to happen in three years. This guy will run again. To that.
Thank God, I will say. Remember, we are so lucky. We're getting an actual vaccine, an inoculation against fascism. All right, not to be extreme, but like the fact that Donald Trump is just such a fucking stupid leader, because this fight that Newsom is on right now, I guarantee you, it would be a lot harder if Trump was able to maintain his relationship with Elon Musk, because crypto people, as much as they might think that they're smarter and above everyone else, are the same fucking sheep when it comes to following other people as any other fucking retarded loser in society. And all of these fucking retards bought their way behind Elon Musk right into Trump's camp. Thank God that relationship fell apart. So it makes the bond a little bit weaker. Was cleaved by furin, some might say. Just kidding.
That point, this is going to be a heavy lift, and we'll finish off with this. This is going to be a heavy lift as we head toward November 4th, and certainly there's going to be opposition. The RNC is going to oppose this, and they're going to put all of their eggs in this basket to fight this in California, because it's going to be easier for them to fight it in one state like California, an easy scapegoat for them, than it is going to be to fight this thing nationwide. And so what can folks who are watching and listening right now do to help? Because I know this is going to be an expensive lift.
This initiative is about giving you power. The power to stop Donald Trump, the power to push back against rigged elections, the power to have a national election that's fair. It's the power to push back. And that power is about showing up. It's about making a contribution. If you can do $3, $5, $10 the cause. There are a lot of folks, I'm just going to level set with you, and I hate to even acknowledge this, that are scared to write a big check because they know that Donald Trump may threaten them. We're counting on you. Yeah. We're counting on you. We the people.
Wait, are you allowed to donate? What are they even collecting donations for? What would you donate for if you wanted to donate to this? I don't think you can just donate to the state of California. You can't donate to a ballot initiative. The November 4th thing he's talking about, is this the initiative for redistricting, or is he referring to the midterms when he's talking about this November 4th date? It's not midterms, right? That's next year.
We exist by the consent of the people. This is it. This is it. So we need
Newsom's Patreon.
people, to the extent you can, to contribute, let folks know what's at stake. This is not about California's 5 seats. This is about representation across this country. And things that you see on your TV that are happening here in LA, again, I cannot impress upon you more, are previews of things to come in your backyard unless we stand up and push back.
Well, look, this is the entire ballgame right here, and these next few months are going to be absolutely pivotal. So for everybody watching and listening, if you can contribute, help get the word out, that's going to be crucial here. So I'm going to put a link right here on the screen. I'm going to put it in the post description of this video. If you're listening on the podcast, it'll be in the show notes. If you have anything to contribute, it'll help get the word out to as many people as possible, because to the governor's point, this is the whole ballgame here. And these next couple of months are going to be crucial in terms of what happens, not just in California over the next year, but also in terms of this country in the next few years. So with that said, Gav, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thank you, buddy.
What do you donate? What is this to? Please make contribution to the Election Rigging Response Act.
The Trump administration.
Shut up! Is it, for messaging? I'm just curious what the entity is. Is this like, are you limited? Is it like $5,000 max? Wait, am I allowed to donate with my business, or do I donate with myself? Or can I do both? Is BTC doing exactly what you'd want to do? Maybe. I like being more adversarial. I think my dream role is just having huge debates with people. I think that's what I excel the most in. The canvassing and all the political activity stuff is fun as well, and I think I can do that okayly. But I mean, my big strength is like research and debate. That's like my most fun thing. Is there a date for when you're doing the Soda Pop and NMP podcast? Yes, actually, they gave me an exact date. I just don't say it until chatters spam the question over and over again. And then once I hit 100 requests, then I let you know, okay? Wait, I want to donate to this, but I don't know. Am I allowed to donate with my, I don't know if this is like a business expense or how this works. Can I expense this shit? I don't know if I can actually. Fuck it. It's coming out of my personal civilian funds, okay? Please leave a tip for Act Blue Technical Services. What? What? This is too far. Now the IT teams are asking for tips. Calm down, retard. It's like Wiki. No, it's not, you fucking retard. I'm aware of tips where it's like you can tip to cover the transaction fee. I know what those look like. I'm usually okay with that, and I do cover that for Wikipedia. This is just asking for a tip. Please leave a tip for Act Blue Technical Services. Power the nonprofit fundraising platform Democratic candidates and progressive causes rely on. And then it gives you a percent out of 20%. What? I'll do 10%. Fuck it. Because I'm an actual cuck. I'm an actual cuck. Here, fuck me. Just fuck me. Your credit card was declined? Wow. Well, looks like no tip for you, motherfuckers. Oh shit. I'm down after my keyboard. Sorry, hold on. Thank you. Why did Chase give me a fraud alert when I tried to donate to the Democrats? When I donated $20,000 to Donald Trump, they didn't pull a fraud alert. Just saying. Wait, who is this guy? Hello, Destiny. I believe this is the correct email to reach out to you. I wanted to inform you that some products have import tariff costs when paying for them. And then he sent me a random receipt of an import tariff cost. I know that sometimes this happens, but I think you have to order directly from overseas stores. Like if you're ordering something that's made in the U.S. and they had to pay tariffs on the underlying material, like you're not going to be aware of what the overall tariff is.
to his point.
ICYM. If change your mind in, what does that mean? ICYMI. In case you missed it, fuck you.
Right outside, this happened in Little Tokyo. Federal agents showed up for an ICE raid, claiming they had no idea that the governor was in town. We have Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards live there with the story tonight. Chelsea.
Yeah, it happened just feet behind me in this plaza, just feet away from where that gathering with the state's top officials was taking place, sparking a lot of outrage in this community, as well as accusations that it was no coincidence that ICE showed up here.
Donate $5,001 to the Mr. Beast thing to outdo Hassan? That comment that you just typed makes absolutely no fucking sense. I know that Hassan didn't donate $5,000 to a thing after making fun of, didn't he make fun of Ethan for donating $100,000? There's no way Hassan would donate such a small, pathetic amount of money, right?
ICE agents descend on a plaza in Little Tokyo, just outside a news conference packed with elected officials.
Right behind you, brother.
Oh, Mudahar?
A man delivering berries to a nearby tea house taken away in handcuffs, his van left on the street.
Well done. Great. We're here making Los Angeles a safer place. Since we won't have politicians that'll do that, we do that ourselves. So that's what we're here.
Wait, I actually totally agree with this guy. But maybe for like the totally opposite reasons that he thinks. I actually completely agree. Almost every conspiracy around COVID-19 plus the mRNA vaccines turned out to be completely false. 2, we've found out conservatives have absolutely no principles related to small government or limited executive power due to their Trump derangement syndrome. And 3, Operation Gaza Floyd. What does he mean by there? Is he focused more on the Gaza Strip or George Floyd, or what is the meme there? Saying that the Gazans are all innocent, or... Maybe the protests? Fentanyl. Floyd had a kill switch to cause October 7th. Oh, shit. Oh, maybe he meant Operation Gaza Flood? I shouldn't be fighting with James Lindsay because this guy actually fights with conservatives a lot, but I can't help myself. This is what he's referencing. Operation Gaza Floyd was a deliberate psychological active measure on both sides of the political aisle to capitalize upon Israel's predictable and justified response against Hamas and Gaza to advance damaging radical political agendas, including one to shatter MAGA. Oh. Okay.
I got this. Ma is so
Me when me and my 45-year-old single dad boys roll up on the graveyard shift at McDonald's to bust some, to crack some skulls, to get some illegal immigrants out of there. This is why open record laws are so important. An eagle-eyed user on Blue Sky found a government purchase record for this video. DHS reports that it spent almost $300,000 alone on just buying the Ford and GMC pickup trucks for this ad before counting any other costs. Oh. That's cute, but I mean, I'm sure they're using the trucks for enforcement as well or whatever, right? Like, it's not like they just bought them for the ad and then trashed them. For a second GMC Yukon, this one for $86,000. Damn, what are these trucks MSRP for? $86K? What the fuck? Wait. DHS literally blew through their budget in 6 months, and they increased their budget with a reconciliation bill. This is hugely wasteful spending. Based. What? Wait, this was yesterday? Breaking Points today turned to Dave Smith for the Russia-Ukraine update and Theo Vaughn for Israel-Gaza. I've got nothing against either of those guys, but are we just out of subject matter experts or professionals to speak on this stuff? Imagine how mad you'd be. Imagine if you were like a professor or you were used to be like a media, like a correspondent to either of these things, and now nobody wants to talk to you. Like, imagine if you're some fucking loser that speaks Russian or Ukrainian and you've like studied European history and modern conflict, and you used to be the guy that they would call up at news stations, but now they just go to fucking Dave Smith, the actual retard, to give his 16 IQ takes. Well, actually, we know, because the ex-leader of the CIA said that fucking America's fucking evil. Breaking Points, clean break memo, 95. Iraq War. Okay. On unilateral disarmament, do you remember which strategy does the best in the prisoner's dilemma? Sapolsky talked about this, I think. Well, it depends on what you mean by best. Best, I think, is both cooperating, right? Well, no. Well, but I mean, it depends on what you mean by best. I don't know. The problem is best is both cooperating, but then if the other person cooperates and you fuck them over, the actual best for an individual is to fuck over the other person, right? But then, and then the worst is when you both fuck each other over. Or no. I don't remember if the worst outcome is if you both fuck each other over, if the worst outcome is if you get fucked over and the other person fucks you over. I think it's if he fucks you over and you cooperate, that's the worst, I think. Is that game theory or prisoner's dilemma? I think the prisoner's dilemma is like a small thought experiment that's part of like a branch of mathematics, I think, called game theory. I think game theory as a whole is like way more mathematical and complicated than just prisoner's dilemma or whatever. I think. Okay. Wait, did we watch this? Was Dave Smith on Breaking Points? And Theo Vaughn on... What?
Let's go ahead and get to this next piece. I listened to this entire Theo Von podcast. I really recommend that you guys do as well. You know, Theo made a lot of waves when he came out and said, listen, guys, I think this is a genocide. He asked J.D. Vance about it when he was on the show. And he went a step further now by hosting a doctor, an American doctor, who was just back from Gaza, you know, for a full episode to discuss what this doctor saw when he was there on the ground at Nasser Hospital. Let's go ahead and take a listen to a portion of this.
Saturday, they had the MCI. It's called a mass casualty incident, and they basically pull a fire alarm. I was like, what the hell is that? They're like, oh, every doctor come down to the ER to try to help. And so I was like, okay. So went downstairs, got in there. It's just like brain matter coming out of people. There's guts coming out of people's abdomens. There's people's legs blown off and someone's carrying it in next to the, you know, one of the family members bringing it in for the doctors. And, you know, they think you can just reattach it. And it's just like absolute chaos. There's family members, security in the hospital trying to push out the family members so the doctors and nurses can take care of the patients. It's absolute chaos. And then us American physicians are just like looking at each other like, what is going on here? And, you know, that's when reality hit. And I was like, okay, this must be like a one-off. And it just kept happening every day, and sometimes multiple times a day. And essentially, basically, we found the pattern related to when the GHF sites were opening up.
So he's there backing up the claims, which we heard directly from a doctor who was just recently back. We, of course, heard from Anthony Aguilar, GHF whistleblower, that when the sites are active, you are going to have mass casualty incidents. You are going to have, he says, hundreds of people showing up in the hospital, wounded, you know, in the conditions that he describes. There were a couple other moments, Sagar, that I also thought were really interesting, horrifying. He said that he heard of people who were basically trying to commit suicide by GHF, where, you know, in Islam, suicide is banned. And so people would talk about, like, listen, if I lose my family, like, I'm just going to go to one of these GHF sites and hope that they take me out. Like, that's how...
She's so close. But did you know there are people walking up and intentionally getting murdered by the IDF? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. They've been doing this for decades. It's because they're so despondent, because their families have died.
Grim and basically trying to commit suicide by GHF, where, you know, in Islam, suicide is banned. And so people would talk about, like, listen, if I lose my family, like, I'm just going to go to one of these GHF sites and hope that they take me out. Like, that's how grim and dire the situation was. And yet he was really inspired, you know, but of course, by the people he saw there. He was really, man, doctors are cut out of a different cloth, because he felt so energized by just getting to go and help care for people and, like, be in this situation where he was able to do something and not just watch from afar. So, I mean, it's just remarkable to see the way these people operate. And then there was also a moment that I thought was pretty interesting from Theo, because he explained more why he felt the need to speak out on this and come forward, even though he felt some pressure not to. And he's like, you know, when from the time that you're a kid, you're taught endlessly about the Holocaust and this idea of, like, this genocide and can never happen again. And then you see it happening and you're supposed to stay quiet. So he, you know, he sort of really took in at face value this idea of, like, we can't...
MCI is unique to this conflict. What is MCI?
Be involved in it. When we said never again, we really actually should mean it. And that's why he felt the need to say something and speak out, even though that's obviously, you know, it's sort of an uncomfortable place for him to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think for him, he is just naturally found out about the issue. He's horrified by the issue. He's not boxed into politics, and he's like, this is how a normal person reacts. So it's actually a good barometer.
I think so too.
You know?
Yeah.
Because for most people, they're not coming in with all the baggage of Washington and the social consequences, and they're like, yeah, I think this is really messed up. That's it. And then actually, it's when you get the backlash that you're like, whoa, am I crazy? And then that's the battle test for Theo and for Miss Rachel. It's kind of fascinating, the track of Miss Rachel.
Yeah,
if you go and you look at it, is she started out with a single thing where she's like, my heart weeps for the babies of Israel and Gaza. Boom. I mean, mass attack. Then she did her Hop Little Bunny song with a 3-year-old girl who got her leg blown off. Yeah. Same thing. Now it's like anti-Semite, and she had to decide. I've actually been listening to some interesting episodes and stuff where she talks about this. And she was like, look, I mean, by the way, look, let's not deny, Miss Rachel's filthy rich, all right? So at this point, you don't need to...
I'm sorry, am I supposed to... Who's Miss Rachel? Is this a musician now? Wait, what? This person? Oh no, wait, I thought it was subs. It's a kid's YouTuber. Wait, does she have a position on Israel Gaza? Wait, what? Hold on, I'm sorry. Wait, what?
Issue. He's horrified by the issue. He's not boxed into politics, and she's like, this is how a normal person reacts. So it's actually a good barometer.
I think so too.
You know? Yeah. Because for most people, they're not coming in with all the baggage of Washington and the social consequences, and they're like, yeah, I think this is really messed up. That's it. And then actually, it's when you get the backlash that you're like, whoa, am I crazy? And then that's the battle test for Theo and for Miss Rachel. It's kind of fascinating, the track of Miss Rachel.
Yeah,
if you go and you look at it, is she started out with a single thing where she's like, my heart...
She's a preschool teacher to millions of children, though most of her students have never set foot in her classroom. Rachel Accurso, known to the world as Miss Rachel, is the creator of the wildly popular YouTube series Songs for Littles. That's a lifeline for parents. But she's been making headlines and facing scrutiny for taking a stand on her social media platforms on current events. Jeff Bennett spoke with her yesterday.
Her videos, built on repetition, music, and respect for young minds, have helped countless toddlers share their first words and make their first connections. But Miss Rachel's
A little bit? V, maybe?
reach now extends far beyond sing-alongs and story time. She's now using her platform in a different way, speaking to adults about the crisis in Gaza, highlighting the experiences of children there, and sparking conversations that transcend the world of children's media.
Can't let children starve. That is not who we are.
Rachel Accurso joins us now. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
So let's start at the beginning. You started Songs for Littles after your son experienced a speech delay, and you had a hard time finding suitable resources for him. When you first pressed record and launched this account, what was your intention?
I wanted to create videos for him, and I thought maybe some other moms and dads and parents were looking for videos like this for their little ones since I saw a need, but I had no idea anything like this would happen. Let's play.
Your style has been compared to Mr. Rogers, the gentle pacing, the respect for children, the genuine connection. What about his approach first inspired you, and how are you making that your own?
So Mr. Rogers, the way he felt media and kids programming, that we have such a big responsibility.
God damn. Jesus Christ. Also, in case you're wondering, she is that hot in person. Jesus.
I learned that he imagined speaking to one child or to children through the camera, and since I worked in a classroom and I have children and I've worked with children for a long time, I just imagine one child and I show that genuine care, and I think that deep care for all children is felt by the audience.
And when you mention the deep care for all children, you have taken a public stand on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, sharing stories, raising funds, speaking out. What responsibility do you feel that you have to address that crisis, given your platform?
My deep love and care for children doesn't end at my children, at children I know, at children in this country. It is for all children in this world. And it's so important for me to speak out for children whose human rights are being violated. That's our responsibility as grown-ups, is to stand up for kids when they're being denied access to food, water, education for 2 years. 18,000 children have been killed. Everyone should be saying something. It's a good thing to care about all kids.
When did you first know that this was something that you had to do?
Well, I prayed a lot about it. I'm a religious and spiritual person, and I think I realized that there's not another children's media person that is, all of them are a character. And so I said, I think I need to speak out for kids in this world. The 0 to 3 brain development is so crucial. And if you have a malnourished child who's traumatized and losing family members and displaced, what is that doing to the brain? We know what that does to the brain, and that's not right.
Your advocacy, we should say, lives on Instagram, which is separate from your children's programming. How do you draw that line, that distinction?
Well, I really served.
I'm going to say like 3 things, okay? 1, I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong about people, even in her position, saying something about like pain and suffering being endured by a whole host of children. I think that's totally fine, right? And there are a lot of children in Gaza that are suffering, regardless of who's at fault, regardless of how the conflict should end. Like, that is an undeniable fact. That's fine. I would say 2, if she's taking like stronger political positions on that, I think that's incredibly fucking cringe. Because I just don't think it's the appropriate platform. But 3, fuck her and fuck all of her advocacy if she hasn't said anything about Ukraine. That's kind of weird. Why was it just the Gaza shit that drew your attention to it? The West needs to, I just don't understand how Palestinians adapted the language of the West so well. And white people and other people just haven't figured that out. I don't know, but maybe she did. Maybe she did do a bunch of stuff on Ukraine. Who knows? And I just missed it.
Children on my program 0 to 3 primarily, and it does go up to about 5. So we are having Rahaf on our show, and I'm really excited about that.
This is a 3-year-old double amputee.
She literally just advocates for kids. Barely any kids have died in Ukraine. So, first of all, when you say barely, you're making it sound like a numbers game. I haven't heard her say anything about the children in Yemen or the children in Sudan, number 1. Number 2, the whole reason why Russia was taken to the International Court of Justice for Genocide had to do with the abduction of, pretty sure it was it 20,000 children? So that was the whole accusation of genocide about them, was the abduction of all those children. So that's a really retarded thing to say, my friend.
How did that meeting happen? How did you meet her?
So the Palestine Children's Relief Fund reached out to me when they saw my advocacy and asked to do a meeting. Let's go back to sleep, Rahaf. And then they told me Rahaf loved the show. And then they said, would you want to meet her and have her on the show? And I said, I'd love to.
Knowing that there are children in Gaza watching your videos, perhaps as one of few moments of joy, how does that make you feel?
There really aren't words to express how that makes me feel. I'm so honored that I could be helpful, or I could provide a moment of relief or joy in the midst of a genocide.
And there has been backlash.
What? Yeah, we have that.
Honored that I could be helpful or I could provide a moment of relief or joy in the midst of a genocide.
And there has been backlash, as you well know. This past spring, the pro-Israel group called Stop Anti-Semitism, they published an open letter calling on the Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate whether you were acting as a foreign agent who was being paid, this is a quote,
what the fuck?
disseminate Hamas-aligned propaganda to her millions of followers. What is your response to that, and how have you been navigating the criticism?
I think it's sad to take someone's dedication and love for all children and try and make that wrong. It's not wrong. It's wonderful to be an advocate for all children and deeply caring for a group of children who are in an emergency situation, who are starving. It doesn't mean you don't care equally about all children. That's false. And it's painful. But no amount of pain is going to compare to what people in Gaza are going through. Every time I got worried about it, I just thought about a mom in Gaza who, I have a baby who's 6 months old. She takes formula. I breastfed my first son. When you have a baby who is crying because they are hungry and you're looking at them and you're feeding them and nourishing them, it's just a wonderful thing. And the thought for a minute that you would have formula miles away that can't get to them. And I told my son today, I'm going on PBS NewsHour to try and help the kids in Gaza get food. And I said, it's miles away from them. They can't get it. And he said, do they have cars? We talked to kids. Another kid came up to me today and said, Miss Rachel, keep trying to help the kids in Gaza. Our kids are looking at us. They're saying, why can't these children have food? It's miles away. Why can't you drive it to them? And the mothers are too malnourished to breastfeed. I just shared a poem by a Palestinian mother. She was one of the top 10 teachers in Gaza. And her husband is a novelist and professor. And they're living in a tent. And they have 4 children. One had a dream to be a surgeon. One had a dream to be a dentist. She said, we're not living in Gaza. We're waiting. We're waiting for food. We're waiting for water. We're waiting for our kids to come home and wondering if they're going to be one less child in the morning. As a mother, she's not different than me. They're so dehumanized. People have made up stories about them, and it's an excuse to conduct a genocide. And I just wish I wish leaders would hear their voices and sit with Rahaf and her mom and see that Rahaf doesn't have legs anymore. And this girl is so bright, and every 3-year-old I've worked with across all communities, they're all different and unique and beautiful, but they're all the same. And to look at her and for people to...
Can you please stop this bullshit talking point? I think the reason why these children die is important. Israel is a Western democracy and should be held to Western standards when it comes to war. Sudan is in a civil war between the RSF and federal forces. In Yemen, I understand she should speak out. Since Saudi Arabia is in America... If we stop supporting... Are you telling me that if we stop supporting Israel, everybody would stop caring? Do you understand how sociopathic that sounds and how fucking retarded that sounds? I don't believe you. That's retarded.
To think that it doesn't matter that they're the largest cohort of amputees in history. It doesn't matter that 18,000 children have been killed. It doesn't matter that there's that new acronym, wounded child, no surviving family. It matters.
What do you hope is the most enduring impact of Miss Rachel on the children and families who watch your work?
I hope they all know that they're welcome and that they're valuable and that they're worthy and that they're loved and that they belong and that they're equal.
Rachel Accurso, better known as Miss Rachel, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is true that if you're a mom and you're super stressed or malnourished, or if there's a bunch of other bad shit going on, you can't breastfeed your child as well. That is true too. I just hate that everybody has to have a fucking political position on this thing. It's fucking cringe as fuck. Here's Elmo's statement on Israel-Palestine. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. No way. Hacked Elmo account. Oh, you're dumb. I need a thing. Jader! I need a thing in chat for troll links, okay? I hate when people waste my time linking what they think are epic jokes, and I just need like a shitpost marker for links, so I know whether or not I'm in the mood to click on retarded shit or not.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. What do we have today, Crystal?
Oh, we have a lot to tackle this morning. We're going to preview that big Trump-Putin-Alaska summit. We're also going to take an early look at how the midterms are shaping up. We've got some news out of Israel, including Netanyahu embracing the Greater Israel Project, so just mask fully off at this point. Also going to take a look at Theo Von had an American doctor who's just back from Gaza. It's pretty extraordinary episode. I really recommend that you guys go and listen to the whole thing, but we have a clip from that. Wanted to talk a little bit about that.
What are we doing? You're just trying to...
Oh, he's just going... They're going over this. Okay. I thought they had Dave Smith on. Hold on one second. Okay, well, I love you guys. I will talk to you, and I'm not sure when. Yeah, good one. No, I'm just kidding. Who's the maintenance guy? How mad are you? My ops were fist pumping. They're never gonna catch me.
That'll do that. We do that ourselves. So that's what we're here today.
And the governor's inside right there.
I don't know where he's at.
Governor Gavin Newsom says that's nonsense, addressing the crowd from inside the event.
And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents. Donald Trump, do you think it's coincidental?
Wait. Okay, quick random question. How do you know when the notification center words are going to pop up with the X button to close all your notifications on your iPhone? Because sometimes it feels like it's there, and other times it feels like it's not there, and you've got to do them one at a time. What determines that? Anybody know?
There is no way this was a coincidence.
Outside, LA Mayor Karen Bass joined protesters and community members condemning the ICE operation.
This is a complete provocation. This has nothing to do with safety. In fact, this is the exact opposite of keeping our city safe.
He's demonizing and terrorizing our migrant communities. This needs to stop. This is fascism 100%, and it needs to be ended.
When ICE agents arrived, activist and community member Kinney Maru immediately started warning people in the area.
Businesses all around Little Tokyo, many of the workers that are there are, undocumented or from other countries, Japanese as well as Latino. And so we've been doing Know Your Rights workshops with the workers as well as the business owners to let them know what their rights are.
After the arrest, friends and colleagues of the detained worker gathered around his van, trying to find answers.
We're just looking for info. We could maybe bail him out, or just any info where he may be, just to get some, clarity and some peace to know where he's at least.
That produce van was left out on the street. It was later towed away. Again, city officials calling what happened here today provocation, but immigration officials are calling it public safety. Reporting live from Little Tokyo, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News.
So the Border Patrol sometimes will tell us afterwards that there was a specific person that they were targeting that maybe had a criminal history other than coming in here illegally. Do we know anything about this particular individual, if there was anything like that happening today?
We don't, but it certainly appeared that they were targeting this one particular individual, but no official information on.
You should fund an asteroid belt of streamers to take out the old orbiters that have become obsessive harassers. All stand up and post Queen and Jessica videos every day. Jesus.
Congressman Greg Abbott, who is in a wheelchair, and Newsom says he rolled over for Trump. That's almost as bad as Jasmine Crockett calling him Governor Hot Wheels. We asked for a statement and...
Wait, hold on.
All good? Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, bye. Bye. Yep.
Was that? I don't know. The people that are going up and down cleaning all the shit or whatever that are making all the construction, apparently they left something on my balcony.
Newsom's office said something flippant like, oh, you're so woke. He'll get over it. Abbott will get over it.
Based! I'm crying. I am crying right now. Thank you. Thank you. He will get the fuck over it. How woke of you to ask. Fucking thank you. Where the fuck was... Somebody inject Schumer with this shit. I still can't believe we censured that Al Green guy. That's crazy to me. Because he wanted to hold up his cane instead of a stupid fucking sign that said, no thank you. Fucking based. I want every single fucking Democrat to get thrown out of the next fucking, the State of the Union. That shit needs to be, they should already be planning for that. They need to recruit high school, maybe not boys, anybody. Wait, did everybody do this or was just me? Did you guys all do a bunch of horrible shit for your high school graduations? Like, we snuck in a ton of bouncy balls and we would hide them like in our instruments and shit. And then like at the end, when the last kid crosses the stage, like everybody's like throwing shit and doing crazy stuff. The dean was always like trying to police people to make sure that people weren't sneaking shit. Did anybody do stuff like that? Or was this just my school? They need to start planning right now. Fucking fireworks, whatever the fuck. They need to start plotting some wild shit for the State of the Union. I want to see some epic shit. White House posts insane vid of over 20 armed FBI and U.S. Marshals going to arrest the Subway sandwich thrower after offering to himself. You mean epic video, right? Oh my God, they've got the alien sound and everything.
Coming down.
Holy, look at that guy. He's a killer. He's a killer. Wait. I just realized every single Democrat should get a giant fucking dog. Because doesn't the American Disabilities Act make it illegal to prohibit like service animals from going in anywhere? And I don't think you're allowed to ask questions about them. I know because I've had friends who have fucking dogs who are not service animals and they just say they are so they can bring them to fucking restaurants. They should all just get huge fucking dogs and bring them in with them and they can't be kicked out. That would be epic and based. Hell the fuck yeah. Oh my God, this is so fucking cringe. Wait, somebody said finish it. Didn't we? Was there anything else?
Get over it. Abbott will get over it. Your response to that?
We listen to it. Fuck you. Skip to 1:30 in this. This is what they should do. Fuck. This is Croatia? Serbia? It's one of the shield flag countries. I don't remember which one it was, though. What were the shield flag countries? What is it? Serbia? We take those! What happens at 1:30? Oh, I remember this. Okay, no, not this. We're not advocating for terrorism here. Okay. I saw this. Member of Taiwan's parliament steals bill to prevent it from being passed.
She gon' run away when it gets hard. She can't take the pain, she can't get scarred. She hurt anyone that gets involved. Don't wanna commit by taking this far. She gon' do the race, just not this one.
Apparently they just printed off another one though and passed it. I don't think they need it. I didn't like research this in depth or whatever, so hopefully this wasn't just a meme, but the is South Korea's leader the prime minister? They were trying to do some crazy shit, pass some crazy law. And there were like people running to vote, like in the middle of the night or whatever, and they tried to lock him out of the building or whatever. And these guys were like, gently jumping the fence to get in. Based. Try to declare martial law. It was just funny because I think this is like assuming all the memes were true, right? The leftists always said that you can't vote out fascism, and these guys, I think they did. They just went there. He was trying to do martial law or whatever, and it was not a law. It was a coup attempt that the opposition tried to do. Oh, okay. And they gave him the big old Reddit thumbs down. Forcing President Yoon to reverse his decision. Okay. Look at the history of South Korean presidents, like 4 or 5 are in jail. Well, the last one, or the one before that? What was the one that was like part of like the moon worshiper cult? Bro, South Korea's got some shit going on. I don't know what's going on over there, okay? They do some wild shit. Wait, spreading your tendrils is not good? This looks awesome.